We have astonishing breaking news. Donald Trump says that Maryland man Kilmar Abrego Kilmar Garcia cannot be returned to the United States despite not only a district judge ordering this piece of shit to return this young man, but also in a 9-0 ruling from the United States Supreme Court telling his administration and him to facilitate the return of Kilmar Abrego Garcia. Let's take a look at this new reporting by NBC News. And ladies and gentlemen, the article reads, the Trump administration insisted Sunday that it has no legal obligation to arrange for the return of a Maryland man illegally deported from the U.S., arguing that a Supreme Court ruling last week only requires officials to admit him into the United States, if he makes it back from a high-security prison in El Salvador. Justice Department lawyers told a federal judge that they don't interpret the United States Supreme Court, the United States Supreme Court's ruling on Thursday, my editorial's edition, that the administration facilitate Kilmar Abrego Garcia's release as obligating the administration to do anything more than adjust his immigration status to admit him if El Salvador's government chooses to release him. With El Salvador's President Nayib Bukele set to meet President Donald Trump on Monday, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned. There is an update that just came out that I will be reporting on and putting up after I put this video up. Continuing with the article. DOJ attorneys argued the courts have no power to require the administration to engage with the El Salvadorian government to reach a diplomatic solution. They contend such a potential order would amount to a violation of the separation of powers and an intrusion into what they allege is unfettered presidential power to conduct foreign relations. All of those requested orders involve interacting with a foreign sovereign and potential violations of that sovereignty. Justice Department attorneys wrote in a 7-page submission to the U.S. District Court, U.S. District Court Judge Paula Zenas, a federal court cannot compel the executive branch to engage in any mandated act of diplomacy or incursion upon the sovereignty of another nation. The administration's position suggests officials do not view the Supreme Court's order as compelling them to seek Abrego Garcia's return. The Salvadorian native entered the country illegally around 2011 and had been living in Maryland. The Trump administration has admitted it deported him to El Salvador in violation of a 2019 immigration court order barring him from being deported to that country. Though Abrego Garcia was denied asylum, a judge found he could not be sent to his home country because of a legitimate fear of persecution by a local gang. Ladies and gentlemen, this is effectively another lie by the Trump administration. They can, because they, being the courts, they can order Donald Trump to facilitate his goddamn return because he did it in violation of a damn near court order prohibiting this guy from being returned to his home country. They're effectively lying and defying the Supreme Court's order. Continuing with the article. The administration continued Sunday to flout a Friday order from Zenas to deliver daily updates to the court, describing its efforts to return Abrego Garcia to the United States. Sunday's update from the from Evan Katz, who's the Assistant Director of Removal Operations for Immigration and Customs Enforcement, said the administration had no updates for the judge. A day earlier, in a similarly threadbare update, the administration turned to Michael Kozak, the State Department's senior bureau official in the Bureau of Western Hemisphere Affairs, who said Abrego Garcia was still alive in El Salvador's Secot prison. The administration is also bucking demands from Abrego Garcia's attorneys that officials detailed the arrangement to ship hundreds of sovereign nationals to the to a notorious prison in El Salvador. One of these Sunday filings insists those details are classified and could be subject to attorney-client and state secrets privileges. Ladies and gentlemen, that's a flat-out lie. That's a flat-out lie. All of this they're doing in violation of not one but two court orders to facilitate the return of Kilmer Abrego Garcia. Hence, this administration is rogue and they need to be held accountable to the fullest extent. I don't give a shit what Congress says. Congress can go and suck a big fat Twinkie if they think that this is okay. That one of the executive branches defying not one but two goddamn court orders. All I say is F you, Mike Johnson. You suck. Nobody loves you. It would be appropriate for this court to hastily order production of these sensitive documents. Justice Department lawyer Drew Ensign wrote. The administration also said it would resist efforts by Zenith to demand testimony from officials about their thinking on Abrego Garcia's potential return, saying such disclosures could interfere with ongoing diplomatic discussions, particularly in the context of President Buchel's ongoing trip to the United States. Still, the administration's narrow view of its obligation under the Supreme Court's ruling appears to up the stakes of a hearing Zenith has scheduled for Tuesday being tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, to clarify. Afternoon to assess the steps officials are taking to arrange for Abrego Garcia's return. Well, ladies and gentlemen, looks like that's going to do it for today's legal breaking reporting. If you did enjoy this legal breaking reporting by Politico, please consider liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing, as well as hitting the bell icon that is right next to the subscribe button below the screen here on the right hand side, and clicking the all notifications options. That way you're notified of every single breaking legal analysis reporting video. You guys can also stay up to date on when I posted a brand new legal breaking reporting by following me on my social medias. I'm on Instagram, Snapchat, Threads, as well as TikTok. There, you guys can also be updated on when I posted a brand new legal breaking analysis reporting video and legal analysis update. Thirdly, ladies and gentlemen, please help me reach and achieve the goal of 150 plus subscribers. The reason why I'm saying 150 plus subscribers, ladies and gentlemen, is because right after we reach and achieve the goal of 150 subscribers, we have more subscribers to reach and achieve right after we reach and achieve the goal of 150 subscribers. Lastly, ladies and gentlemen, please stay positive, please stay safe, and know that justice will prevail on the correct side of the law, despite Donald Trump and his illegal administration's illegal, unconstitutional executive orders, behaviors, and overall executive orders.